Brittni Mason. This name has emerged to the face of the earth as an elite world-class Olympic champion. She was born with a disability that causes her not to be able to extend her arm completely straight. Even with this setback she was born with, she did not let that stop her from achieving amazing achievements. She has been selected to run in the Paralympics and then went on to break the 100-meter dash time. She is also a true student athlete, and even with her successful track career, she has not let that stop her from being an exceptional student in the classroom. She is a person we all strive to be. Even though we might be tasked with unfortunate circumstances that life gives us, that never give up, that never say die attitude can defy all things against you. This is exactly what she has done and will continue to do. Luckily for me, she is a family relative of mine, and I got the privilege to personally sit down with her and get to know more of her story and her accomplishments. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. How early did you start track?
I was 10.
When did you start becoming elite, or have you always been a woman amongst girls?
Ooh, that was pretty good. At age 11 is really when track started to get going for me. I was the 5th fastest 11-year-old girl in the country for the 100-meter dash and the 200-meter dash for AAU. And then that's, I think, when I kind of started really taking track seriously, because I did not want to run track when I was younger. I was more of a ballerina, gymnast, and did all types of dancing.
What was your inspiration to switching from all the girly stuff to more of a sport?
My dad. One day I was running around our house when we lived in our old house, and he's like, "Wow, you're moving around the house really fast." And then he put me in track and realized I could run track. And that's how I started.
Was the process when picking schools, say high school, elementary school, and stuff like that, since you did start track at a young age, was that always a big factor when picking your school, or is it secondary?
No, my parents just really focused on my education, because you can run anywhere. It's not really based on the school you go to. The only thing that we really took into consideration was running college track. So it wasn't really much of, so we picked my school based on if it had a good track program in high school or middle school.
Okay. Have you ever had an injury that seriously jeopardized your athletic career?
Besides my nerve damage in my shoulder, I actually had an injury last year after I came from Dubai. I strained my hamstring, and I didn't run for a month, and then 2 days before conference is the first time I sprinted, and I placed second in conference. The only injury I've really ever had in college, or ever.
Are you hard on yourself since track is an individual sport rather than a team sport?
Yes, I'm my biggest critic. If I'm down about something, if my coach doesn't have to tell me how bad I did, or my parents, I am always on top of myself and judging myself more than anyone else has to.
How did you get your inspiration to run, or where did that passion really come from?
Besides my dad, my mom hurdled in high school and had a college scholarship to run track in college, and then they had me. So then I kind of took her place in running track, and she was really passionate about it, and that's how our family bonded over me running track.
That's how they bonded? Just you running track?
Yep.
What would you say your daily routine is to start off a good day? It doesn't have to be particularly sports related, but just you in general.
Well, every day I'm at practice, so usually I get up, make a good breakfast, go to practice, have a good practice, talk to my teammates for a little bit, and then we go to the training room to make sure we recover for the next day, and then I come home. I usually eat a snack and then eat lunch. I usually go to work, and then I come home, do some homework, I have some free time, online shop, watch Netflix.
What are your biggest accomplishments?
I broke a world record in the 100-meter dash in Dubai, and I have a gold world championship medal. Yeah. I also had the state record in Ohio when I was a senior in the 60-meter dash.
Do you have any like monumental accomplishments besides sports?
I made Dean's List for academics in college, and I also had a 4.0 a semester. I graduated cum laude with having a certain GPA over 3.5. And I've been all academic, all MAC, which is for our conference. We're in the Mid-American Conference at Eastern, so that means that I had over 3.5 GPA, and I placed like top 3 in our conference championship.
How do you feel about being in the Paralympics?
At first, I didn't think I was eligible because I thought that you had to be an amputee or like be a wheelchair racer. Like I had no idea that there was different classifications for running in the Paralympics until they told me. And at first, I kind of thought that I would be it'd be a disadvantage for me to run against people that had no legs or were in a wheelchair, but I didn't understand that
Right.
I would be running against people who had the same disability or similar disability as me.
Okay. Do you believe that you can like be in the regular Olympics? Like, do you feel like it's, I don't know, maybe offensive that you're in the Paralympics? Like, do you believe, since you like did college, no like specific Paralympics or such like that, so do you believe that you can be in the regular Olympics, or do you feel offended that you're even in there? Do you think you qualify for that?
No, I think I am supposed to be where I am currently. I mean, I definitely think I can get faster, but they run a lot faster running in the Olympics with able bodies versus like me running in the Paralympics with disabled bodies. And then like there's a lot of things I can't do that a lot of able bodies can do when it comes to like the weight room and like lifting and also running. I have to like kind of run a different way because my arm is not normal, as I would say.
So how did you get your disability?
I was supposed to be 6 pounds when I came out of my mom at birth, and I was almost 10 pounds. They did not estimate that, and I got stuck in my mom, and they yanked my arm out, and that's how I was born with Erb's palsy, which is the disability that I have, which is an impairment from my shoulder, my left shoulder, and the brachial plexus, which limits my range of motion in my arm.
How has that affected your life and your athletic ability?
Well, my parents put me in sports at a very young age to get the range of motion in my shoulder, so I wouldn't be very limited. I still am limited, but I have a lot more range of motion than if I didn't do physical therapy for half my life and participate in sports. So it was a hassle, and people would be at track and it's like, oh, what's wrong with her arm? And I had to answer that question over and over and over again, like my entire life up until now. So I guess that's how.
You like can't move it all the way up?
I can't straighten it. So it's from the tendon here down, doesn't straighten or lengthen. So it's also the damage is in my shoulder too. But you don't really notice it until I'm running.
Okay.
And then people notice it. So if I was walking around the street, no one would know I ran for the Paralympics. And I get questions like that, like, how do you run for the Paralympics? Like, your arm is fine. But people don't understand that there's different classifications and what falls into being in that classification.
What do you wish to accomplish life after track?
I hope to get sponsored. That's like my goal, and I hope to win in 2021. I'm really aiming to have three world medals, and I want to break my record again. And then after track too. Is that what you asked me?
After track, yep.
Yeah, after track. I'm hoping to I wanted to open up my own training facility for disabled athletes and help them like once I'm done running. Just kind of like because track is my life and it's always been my life, to kind of keep that going after I'm done running and help other athletes succeed too.
Who is Brittni Mason and what do you want to be remembered?
I'm Brittni Mason. I want to be remembered as the fabulous track athlete who is so stylish but runs fast, and she inspires younger athletes to believe in themselves.
I do realize that you wear a lot of
a lot of jewelry, and my nails are done, my hair, headbands.
That never affects your running?
If you look good, you run good.
The final of the women's 100 meters. T47. Away first time. What a blistering start by Young and by Mason. It's USA 1 and 2.